Does the Waxwork Museum, Madame Tussauds, know something we don't? Well, in what can only be described as a political embarrassment, Sir Keir Starmer has been passed over, not by voters this time, by Madame Tussauds. Hi, I'm Emily Carver, and this is GB News Original. Yes, the world-famous Waxwork Museum has confirmed it currently has no plans to sculpt a figure of the Prime Minister. Why could that be? Well, brutally, it's because they're not convinced he'll be around, or indeed relevant, for long enough to warrant it. Here's the full statement they gave to the newspaper. As is the case with the world of modern celebrity, the political landscape is fast-moving and unpredictable. So we really have to consider our figure choices carefully. It could take up to a year for us to create a figure, from the initial measurements to the unveil on attraction floor, so we expect each one to remain popular and relevant with the public for 5 to 10 years. In other words, the Wax Museum of all institutions doesn't believe Keir Starmer is a long-term bet. And frankly, given recent political history, you can't blame them, can you? Let's remember, Madame Tussauds has immortalised almost every British Prime Minister of note. David Cameron, Theresa May has one, and of course Boris Johnson, who apparently gave not one but 2 sittings and even turned up for the final hair and colour check. But since the chaos post-COVID, with rapid leadership changes and that infamous 49-day premiership of Liz Truss, the museum has decided to take a more cautious approach. They haven't created, to be fair to Keir Starmer, waxworks for the more recent holders of high office, citing the sheer unpredictability of British politics. But could it be that they think that perhaps Keir Starmer wouldn't bring in that many punters? What do you reckon? Well, asked for a response, Downing Street kept it brief. A spokesperson said the decision was a matter for Madame Tussauds. Well, I think it's quite the bruise to the ego, to be honest. You've made it all the way to Prime Minister. You've been director of the CPS. You've been a top lawyer for years and years and years. And Madame Tussauds take one look at you and think, nah, no one really cares. You're just the Prime Minister of this country. Well, it's worth noting this isn't the first time a Labour leader has faced waxwork rejection. During Gordon Brown's time in office, Madame Tussauds put the question to the public. Should he get a figure? The answer, a firm no, with 83.8% of people voting against it. Harsh. So where does that leave Sir Keir? Well, in office, yes, but in wax, not yet, and perhaps not ever, unless he can prove to the public and apparently to the curators of tourist attractions that he's not just a placeholder, but a Prime Minister with a lasting presence. Does he have that celebrity that others have had in the past? He's certainly no Winston Churchill. Time and Madame Tussauds will tell.
Using the internet without a VPN, a virtual private network, is a bit like taking to the road without car insurance. All it takes is one unlucky moment to cost you a lot of cash. This video's sponsor is Private Internet Access. They are the VPN to help keep you safe. Click the link in the description below to find out why over 30 million people have downloaded PIA to protect themselves online. A virtual private network is an app that hides your IP address and helps keep your data private. When you're browsing the internet at home, you give up a large amount of data to businesses, to shops, and indeed to social media giants too. Hackers have the ability to steal your personal data with ease, including sensitive information such as passwords, keystrokes, and even your personal photos. Private Internet Access helps protect your personal data by encrypting your internet connection to keep your data out of the hands of cyber criminals. And it's not just hackers either to be concerned about. Information can be censored too. When Canada passed their C18 bill, social media giants decided to ban news content on their platforms. But PIA can protect your ability to consume the news and content you love. Private Internet Access is available for Windows users, Mac OS, Android, Linux, iOS, and you can use one PIA subscription to protect an unlimited amount of devices. And we've got a huge GB News discount for you too. Click the link in this video's description and you'll get a massive 83% off PIA. That's under £2 a month, the price of a coffee, and you'll get an extra 4 months completely free on top. Also, there's a 30-day money-back guarantee too. Visit piavpn.com/GB News to start protecting yourself digitally today.
Now earlier, Tom Harwood, my co-presenter, and I decided to envisage what it might be like for Keir Starmer, the Prime Minister of this great nation, to hear the news. Have a look.
Good afternoon, Britain. It's just gone 10 to 2. Now imagine this. You spend your entire life dreaming of public service. You work your way up to become the Director of Public Prosecutions. You then become a Member of Parliament, and just next to your constituency is a world-famous museum hosting
I'm imagining it, Tom.
waxworks of famous figures, and you dream that one day you will be featured in this mausoleum, for want of a better word. You become Prime Minister, and you think now, Finally, my waxwork will be on display at the world-famous Madame Tussauds. And then they say no.
And then you find out that Theresa May has one.
Oh.
Yes, so Madame Tussauds, there's Theresa May. There she is in her suit.
Yeah,
she was always one for colourful outfits,
Theresa May has a waxwork there, so does Boris Johnson, of course. It's reasonable to expect the Prime Minister would have thought that he would join the likes of David Cameron, Theresa May and Boris Johnson with a waxwork.
Winston Churchill. Yeah. Winston Churchill has one. Harold Macmillan apparently was previously displayed. Tony Blair.
Of course.
Tony Blair, of course. But apparently, so Madame Tussauds can't be sure that he'll still be relevant in 5 years' time. That's the reason.
Is that why they've said it? No.
They can't be sure, so they don't want to put the money into it, presumably.
Wow.
I could imagine Keir Starmer commissioning his own.
And yet, Lord Salisbury had a waxwork, the Marquis of Salisbury, Harold Macmillan, and David Lloyd George, of course. But the Prime Minister of the United Kingdom of Great Britain and Northern Ireland...
Think about this.
...does not have a waxwork because he's not relevant.
A spokesperson told the Metro, "We have no current plans to make a figure of the British Prime Minister. As is the case with the world of modern celebrity, the political landscape is fast-moving and unpredictable, so we really have to consider our figure choices carefully. It could take up to a year for us to create a figure, so we expect each one to remain popular and relevant with the public for 5 to 10 years.
What a slap in the face.
Downing Street declined to comment, saying the decision is a matter for Madame Tussauds. Oof, that's got to hurt the ego.
Wow. Well, maybe Madame Tussauds knows something that we don't.
Maybe we'll be in there one day.
Oh,
Sincerely doubt it, but you never know.
Well, do you think you'd go to Madame Tussauds to check out a Keir Starmer waxwork? Have Madame Tussauds made the wrong decision when it comes to this particular person and this particular celebrity, this particular Prime Minister? Let me know in the comments. This is GBN Originals and I'm Emily Carver.
At GB News, we believe in the power of free speech. We're not afraid to ask the tough questions, challenge the status quo, and give you a voice. While others silence dissent, we champion the truth. By becoming a GB News member, you're not just supporting free speech, you're defending it. Please consider supporting us today. Together, we'll hold the powerful to account and make sure that your voice is always heard. Simply go to gbnews.com/support and stand with us for what matters most.